Welcome back to Arifureta Anime Review Episode 2. I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name of this series. It's just the best way I can pronounce it, okay? This episode, I'm going to be talking about the recap episode 5.5, episode 6, 7, and a special episode, the Prologue. I'll talk about that one first. The Prologue is what the first episode, for some reason, decided to not include for some reason. Yes, it's basically what the characters of the series were up to, basically the hero group, before they arrived in Teteros. That's in the country, the world they went to. It just basically like an average day of school. Hijima being picked on by various people, and we see Koji, the woman who later revealed has a thing for him. And pretty much it's like, okay, it's another day of school, and then teacher walks in, the magic circle basically activates. Now, here's kind of the strange thing, there's a slight change here. Because if you watched the opening titles, this magic circle also caused damage to frickin' school. Here it doesn't. Even though they did change the time exactly when this happened. Most of the episode this special does play out exactly how Chapter 1 presented it. And then, simply put, they arrive in the world, and it's basically a lot of montaging. But yes, it's almost like that this is basically White Fox, the studio who made the series. This, in my opinion, was their apology for skipping over this in the pilot episode. Which I have heard they did kind of added this with episode 1. I'm kind of like, why in the world wasn't the first episode? Why did the first episode include this bit? Yeah, and here's the strange thing. I had to basically get an official. I went to YouTube to watch this prelude. Yeah, because Funimation has not dubbed this for some reason. Yeah, it's a 5-minute short, but I don't think it'll take too long. And then, of course, they show basically how the characters, like, they have the conversation, which show one of the flashbacks of the series. And they show up, get their status cards, and what these characters basically their status, their positions are. Of course, Hijima basically is a surgeist. The teacher is a farmer. Yes, a farmer, despite the fact she's a teacher. Okay, the popular one of the group, who's basically like a hero. Yeah. Also forgot to point out though, the captain of the Royal Army of the Kingdom, basically that they're working with. In the dub, is voiced by Patrick Stultz. I know that's Patrick Stultz because I recognize his voice. Yep. But, yeah, it's just pretty much the stuff they skipped over. It's like, okay, they introduced the characters, a lot of montaging. Don't have really big problems, but I kind of think this particular prologue should have been a little bit longer than just 6 minutes. They probably, the White Fox, when they made this one, yes, this is basically their apology for skipping over this important content, but in my opinion, they should have put this footage in the first episode of the series, and they should have made it a little bit longer to basically take up basically what they skipped over. Now, as for the recap episode, mostly put, it's just stuff we see a little bit in the prelude, and it's simply. The reason why I'm including this in the review is because this episode, the ending of this, the last couple minutes, lead into episode number 6. The whole point of this recap is just recapping what everything had happened since episode 1. Mostly anyways, it's a bridge retelling of what happened. They do in fact skip over in the recap the one seduction scene where Yui takes off the towel, basically the fur she's wearing, and basically tries to seduce Hijima while trying to all suck his blood. Yeah, they cut that out of the recap, which that's fine. I guess some people didn't want to see that again. But the ending of this is then put the first appearance of Shira, the rabbit. Yeah, she's basically a rabbit. She could easily look like a cosplayer. Appearance-wise, this character kind of reminds me of the Guild Master from How I'm Not the Seventh Demon Lord. It's the same exact outfit, minus the bunny ears. Yep, and she is there just hopping around, waiting for Hijima and Yu to show up, and of course, then she sees them, and that's the recap ends. Episode 6 is her basically. Oh yeah, and the way she sounds it up, she's voiced by Amanda Lee, who is a YouTuber who does work for Funimation. She does some Funimation work. Let's see if I can look up basically what she's worked on. Now, I thought this was the same because of the way the voice sounded and how some of the character is. I thought this was the same character, the same actress who voiced Aqua from Konosuba because of how some of the voice is. Nope, it is not. These following series I have seen where she has been on. Of course, One Piece voices Orihime, the giant mermaid. The second season of Overlord voicing Crusher Lulu. She was in Cardcaptor Sakura. She was in Black Clover for a few episodes voicing character Lucia. Let's see. I think that's it. Yeah, of all the other series basically I've watched, yeah, there's like very few series I've seen with her in it. And yeah, this is like the third the most recent series that was released where she actually is voicing a character. And her character does appear in this episode. It's like, okay, she has Ichima's help to help her people from the Beastmen. Okay, now I should point out though that this episode 6 and 7 adapt from book 2 of the series, which is 267 pages. And from what I can tell in the 2 episodes they pretty much adapted, they did for this one, yeah, like in the case of the Prelude, lots of montages because they want to rush through this. They want getting all the meat in there. Even though, yes, we don't get a lot of the character stuff, but we get a chance to see a lot of the importance that happened in the book. Okay, she goes to ride out on Hinjimo's, basically his motorcycle. A motorcycle that looks very similar to the one seen in Asakusa Rogue Hero, except it's blue instead of black this time. Yeah, and I thought this was so cool. Yeah, anybody basically think it's so cool. We have Yui in the front, but Yui is not the driver. It's Hijima, and, well, Shira's basically in the back. Yeah. And he saved them from these beasts and the beastmen. Okay? He gets there, sees her people. They're all scouring in front of these dragons and the poor animation, the terrible animation that the series gave us. Yeah, I'm not sure why White Fox basically, they did a good job drawing the characters, but the monsters, they really dropped the ball on the monsters. Yeah, they look like cheap PS2 characters. Yeah, it's like the graphics like PS1 era. That's how bad these things look. And then Hijima just rides on a motorcycle using Shira, who they refer to as a worthless rabbit a lot of the time, shoots the beast using her as bait, and then pretty much a lot of the rest of the episode is simply this. Hijima teaching her people how to fight, kill monsters, deal with the Beastmen. Of course, he deals with them pretty quickly, like in one shot, and negotiates with some elves. And it's like, okay, we need to get into this labyrinth. Well, a labyrinth's here, basically the Great Tree, which is the reason why that she decided to go. And she also gets a chance to duel with Yui. Yui basically says that she wants to go with them because she's fallen in love with Hijima. Yep, that's the reason why that she has come along. Also, the way her character is treated in this episode, it's very similar to how Aqua is treated in Konosuba. How? She keep getting bopped in the head, she's always crying, and she's pretty much useless. Though she's good at using foresight. Yeah, and she does eventually, of course, Hijima does agree to take her along. Her people basically just stays there and just keep training, okay, whatever. And the very next episode, they go to a labyrinth, and it's a very weird one where this witch that apparently Hijima basically heard about, who apparently has been dead for years, and she's been basically possessing robots. It's like a quick, funhouse type of episode. They do beat up the person to get stuff that they want from her, and it's like, I won't see you again. As far as I know, she hasn't. And then they go to a hotel, or at least an inn. They keep arguing. She get one room, and of course Shira basically loudly proclaims she wants Hijima to take her virginity, and he's takes out his gun and shoots his gun at her. I don't think he hit her with the gun. Probably shoot it in the ground, just to a point to get her to shut up, because she basically was annoying. Yeah, she's ready to be annoying. And that's how the episode ends. And that is pretty much book 2 for you. Yeah, where lots of montaging, and the way I see that basically these 2 episodes treated book 2, it's similar to how Rise of Shield Hero treated book 5 of the series, where there was lots of montaging. Except that took 4 episodes to adapt 1 book. This one took 2 episodes. Yeah, that's a simple gist of when it comes to this particular one. Yep. And that's pretty much it for this particular review. I have nothing much to talk about when it comes to the 2 episodes. The first 5 episodes I thought were really good, except for the animation and the graphics. These 2 are still pretty good. I do like the fact that they actually kept a lot what happened in the actual book itself. Yeah, they don't include the bonus stuff in here. Oh, and I should point out before I end this video, there was some criticism about the music of the series, where one person said it was atrocious. It was really bad. Me, I don't have a problem with it at all. It's simply put, kind of like 90s style pop. Like, it's basically kind of like pulp, 90s jazz. I like the music that they have for this series, even though it's a bit unusual to see this. Now, the way music, it seems like this is what the English dub did. I'm not sure how it is in the sub. Apparently, Funimation decided to use English, basically, instruments, like, basically style of music for these animation sequences, which is, I don't have a problem with it at all. It's fine. I think the music basically does set the scene in the first 5 episodes. 6 and 7 doesn't have much music at all, because they're really quick affairs when it comes to adapting and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it that I had to talk about. Now, in the case of when we do episode 3, that will probably happen once I read books 3 and 4 for the series. Yep, as my next video. I might get a chance to do one more today, probably a Comic Corner, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. Also, in case you're wondering, is there Case Closed video coming? How many anime reviews coming today? Probably not, unless of course they release a new chapter of the manga. Unless that, so expect maybe one more video today, okay? But until this next video, with probably a Comic Corner. Bye.